Hello everybody, how's it going? It's NerdGasm. Today, I wanted to look at the character of Captain America and count down his 10 greatest villains over the years. There have been many good ones, so many to choose from it's difficult to narrow down, but these are just my favorites, the ones I have found myself enjoying the most. If there are any villains I didn't include in this video that you would have put on your list, just leave them in the comment section down below. We all have different tastes and preferences when it comes to characters, villains. Our lists aren't going to line up in every instance. Starting off my list at number 10, we have the vile and despicable Hate-Monger, a character that debuted in Fantastic Four number 21 in December of 1963, but has since made several appearances in Captain America comics over the years. The Hate-Monger is a clone of Adolf Hitler, who managed to survive World War II thanks to the efforts of Nazi scientist Arnim Zola, who managed to transfer his mind and memories into a variety of cloned bodies, allowing this monster of a man to be brought into the present day, allowing his form of evil to live on. As the Hate-Monger, Hitler entices fear and bigotry within people using a special hate ray, or H-ray, that uses high-frequency microwave radiation to manipulate the human brain, causing its targets to become consumed with dread and hatred, specifically towards minorities. Some elements of this character may seem a bit outlandish, but the Hate-Monger's ideology is real. Racism, anti-Semitism, these are real-life evils the world is faced with every day, and they are evils heroes like Captain America have opposed since the very beginning. Moving on to number 9 with Karl Morgenthau, the Flag Smasher. This villain seeks to bring peace to the world by destroying nationalism in all its forms. He leads the terrorist organization known as Ultimatum, which stands for the Underground, Liberated, Totally Integrated, Mobile Army to Unite Mankind. I recently did a breakdown of this character on my channel, so if you would like more information on him and his backstory, feel free to check it out. At number 8, we have the Taskmaster, one of my favorite villains in the Marvel Universe. He possesses what are known as photographic reflexes that are linked to his muscle memory, allowing him to duplicate any physical movement or skill he witnesses instantly, to perfection might I add, unless of course they involve some specific power to pull off, like flight or super strength for example. Taskmaster's abilities are essentially limitless. His mind acts like a bank of knowledge that can pull any of these motions from it at any given time, making him an extremely competent hand-to-hand fighter. His arsenal of weapons also reflect his vast array of combat techniques, anything from a sword to a shield, bow and arrows, a lasso, you name it, he's got it. Next up, at number 7, we have Baron von Strucker, one of the high-ranking members of the terrorist organization Hydra that was birthed from the fascist ideologies of Nazi Germany following World War II. His villainous schemes usually involve world domination or genocide in some way. His body has been altered by various serums and experiments done to him over the years, mainly his exposure to the death spore virus that not only slowed his aging and gave him a form of regenerative healing factor, but can also allow him to infect others in his vicinity with the virus, to weaken them or kill them, whichever he prefers. He has also been known to make use of a device called the Satan Claw, which greatly augments his strength when wearing it. At number 6, we have Madam Hydra, one of the leading members of Hydra and one of its most powerful among the Inner Circle. There have been several characters that have taken on the title of Madam Hydra over the years, the two main ones being Ophelia Sarkissian and Contessa Valentina Allegra de la Fontaine, but I am just going to group them together, makes it easier. Ophelia is also known as the Viper, who is extremely knowledgeable of poisons and toxins, which she administers to her victims through various weapons, her lipstick or sometimes her hollow fangs. The Contessa wears a special armor, robe, and tentacled headdress as Madam Hydra, which looks pretty cool. Moving on to number 5 with Arnim Zola, a Nazi scientist, master of genetics and biochemistry that transferred his mind into a robot body in order to survive World War II. His face is displayed in the android's chest, and sitting on top is an ESP box that allows Zola to control his various genetic creations, and man, do some of them look gnarly as hell. In some stories, the ESP box also gives Zola the power of mind control, and if his body ends up being destroyed, he can just download his consciousness into another one. It's that easy. Next up at number 4 is the Winter Soldier, Steve Rogers' best friend, Bucky Barnes, who was seemingly killed in a drone plane explosion near the end of World War II. He miraculously survived, his body being preserved in icy waters, much like Captain America's had been. Unfortunately for Bucky, he was found by a Russian submarine, and through hypnotic training and brainwashing, he was turned into a Soviet assassin. In between missions to kill specific targets, his body would be placed in suspended animation for days, months, sometimes years at a time. Just like his mentor and friend, Bucky is also a man out of time, in his own ways. He lost decades of his life being turned into a killer with no control over his actions. He is haunted by his memories, by his long list of victims, and has tried to make amends, which is easier said than done. Moving on to number 3, with the large and imposing Crossbones, the right-hand man and muscle of the Red Skull, who leads his team of operatives known as the Skeleton Crew. Crossbones is another one of my favorite Marvel villains, not only because his design looks badass, not only because he's a formidable foe for Captain America with brains to back up his brawn, but because he has a fun personality too. Crossbones is your cliché thug, behaves and speaks like your classic henchman, but he's loyal to the bone, pun intended, when it comes to serving his boss, the Red Skull. The dynamic these two have with each other is amazing, a hilarious love-hate relationship at times. Crossbones is another villain I have looked at before on the channel. Check out my supervillain breakdown video on him if you haven't already. At number 2, we have Baron Zemo. Both incarnations, Heinrich and his son Helmut. They can both share my number 2 spot here. The title of Baron Zemo has been passed down through the Zemo family for generations. Heinrich Zemo was one of the most feared Nazis and was responsible for the death of Bucky Barnes during World War II. Heinrich's son, Helmut, was responsible for attacking and infiltrating Avengers Mansion during the events of the storyline Under Siege, which I have reviewed on the channel before. It's a good one. And at number 1 as the greatest villain of Captain America, I have Johann Schmidt, the Red Skull. He'd have to be on the top spot of this list because he represents everything Steve Rogers fights against, everything Adolf Hitler and Nazi Germany represented. He is the true face of evil, the embodiment of fear and terror. Though originally he had no superpowers, some of his incarnations have depicted him as a super soldier, much like Captain America. He has also had a series of clones over the years as well, some of which having unique abilities. The Red Skull is closely associated with Hydra, and is usually depicted as its highest-ranking officer, its commander, though it does vary depending on the story. At some point down the road, I do hope to analyze this character in greater detail, within his own supervillain breakdown video, because there are decades and decades worth of information on him I'll have to sort through. Like I had mentioned at the start of this video, there are a lot of great Captain America villains out there. Narrowing this list down to just 10 was pretty difficult for me because I enjoy so many of them. If there are any villains you would have included, or if you would like to share your own rankings entirely in the comment section down below, feel free to. I want to thank everyone for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, think about hitting that subscribe button or showing your support for my channel and its content over on patreon.com and gain access to various rewards I have for you guys over there. Take care, stay nerdy, and I will see you next time.